Welcome to Escrow Out Loud, the SF Real Estate podcast from Jackson Fuller Real Estate. Experts on San Francisco real estate since 2002. Podcast notes with links available at jacksonfuller.com/podcast.
Hi, I'm Matt Fuller. Today is Tuesday, April 7th. Late on Friday, April 3rd, San Francisco Treasurer Jose Cisneros announced that because the San Francisco shelter-in-place order has been extended, and in accordance with state law, the new property tax deadline is the first business day after the shelter-in-place order is lifted. The new due date, as of today, April 7th, is Monday, May 4th, 2020. Again, that's Monday, May 4th, 2020. If you're in a financial position to make your tax payment, online and mail payments continue to be processed, and the city appreciates the revenue to keep things running smoothly during these historic times. That's the important news in today's podcast. The rest of this is a quick rabbit hole into the state constitution and law. I had heard that the property tax date couldn't be delayed because it was written into the state constitution. So, I had to go and look. I went and downloaded it, and you can do the same from the California State Senate website. There's also a great legislative site that will be in the show notes where you can search the Constitution and all of these documents. So the California Constitution download is 462 pages, and it starts with the Magna Carta and a bunch of other historic docs before finally getting to the California Constitution around page 150. Long story shorter, there is no fixed date for property taxes mentioned in the state constitution. Plenty of other mentions about property taxes, but no dates. Which leads us to the California Legal Code. What is the California Legal Code? According to our friends at Wikipedia, there are 29 legal codes enacted by the California State Legislature, and together they form the general statutory law of California. The official codes are maintained by the California Office of Legislative Counsel for the Legislature. The Legislature Council also publishes the official text of the codes publicly at leginfo.legislature.ca.gov. In particular, we're interested in one of those, the California Revenue and Taxation Code, which was first adopted, believe it or not, by the 53rd session of the California Legislature in 1939 during the Great Depression. It's been amended many, many times since. You can search it online or download a PDF. It is really not light reading, coming in at 3,271 pages and 155 megabyte text file download. That is no small Adobe Acrobat file. However, once we get our revenue and taxation code in front of us, we are interested in Chapter 2, titled Collection Generally, of Part 5, titled Collection of Taxes, of Division 1, titled Property Taxation, of the California Revenue and Taxation Code. 2605 is the first mention of a date, and the following taxes on the secured roll are due and payable November 1st. All taxes on personal property and half the taxes on real property. And if the amount is not evenly divisible by 2, the odd cent is also due and payable, unless the roll shows the odd cent as part of the second installment. They are down to the cent. So that is, I believe it's chapter 20 or paragraph 2605. 2606 mentions the second half of February 1 due date. And then we have to go down to 2617, paragraph 2617, and it says all taxes due November 1, if unpaid, are delinquent at 5 p.m. or the close of business, whichever is later on December 10th, and thereafter a delinquent penalty of 10% attaches to that. The second, and then paragraph 2618, the second half of taxes on real property, if unpaid, is delinquent at 5 p.m. or the close of business, whichever is later, on April 10th, and thereafter a delinquent penalty of 10% attaches to it. And finally, paragraph 2619. If December 10 or April 10 falls on Saturday, Sunday, or a legal holiday, the time of delinquency is at 5 p.m. or the close of business, whichever is later, on the next business day. If the Board of Supervisors, by adoption of an ordinance or resolution, closes the county's offices for business prior to the time of delinquency on the next business day, or for that whole day, that day shall be considered a legal holiday for purposes of this section. So that is it. That is all we have in the Revenue and Taxation Code. Nothing about natural disasters or other delays. So because the city tax collector's office is closed, physically closed because of shelter in place, they're using paragraph 2619 to delay it until the day they physically open back up, which right now is scheduled to be Monday, May 4th. All right, so it is in the Revenue and Taxation Code, which means the state legislature does have the power to change it. It's not a constitutional amendment. However, the state legislature adjourned on March 13th to do their part to flatten the curve. They were originally scheduled to come back in mid-April. However, the legislature is now also closed through May 4th, 2020. So while they could change it, no one's there to change it at this point, and they won't be back to change it before May 4th. All right, thank you for listening. Please stay home and do your part to help flatten the curve in San Francisco and California and across America and the world.
You've been listening to Escrow Out Loud, the SF Real Estate podcast from Jackson Fuller Real Estate, experts on San Francisco real estate since 2002. Podcast notes with links available at jacksonfuller.com/podcast.